everybody? I'm back with another video. Today, I'm talking about first aid kits. And I'm going to address the question a lot of people ask me, do I buy a kit pre-made or do I build my own? It all depends. I have done both. I've brought kits and I've added to them because they was lacking certain things that I wanted to have in my kit. But I've seen kits now where they do have everything in it, but they're a little pricey. Sometimes it's a little bit more cost effective to build your own kit based on what you need. When I build out my first aid kit, I make sure I build it out for any situation that I may come across, whether it be gunshot wounds, broken legs, car accidents, whatever it may be. I make sure that my kit has enough stuff in there to help someone in any scenario, because you never know where you find yourself in. One of the things you want to consider having in your kit is a tourniquet. A tourniquet is probably one of the most important pieces in any survival first aid kit, especially if you're into firearm training and you carry a firearm. You want to make sure you have some way to help someone. Tourniquet is the next thing, because one of the most important things in any life-saving situation, you want to be able to stop and control the bleeding. Tourniquets allow you to do that by cutting off circulation to that area of the body that has suffered a severe injury. Tourniquets are great in that scenario. Wrap it around your leg, your arm, make it as tight as possible. Slow the bleeding as much as you can before you start treating the wound. So you definitely want to, the first thing they always teach you, stop the bleeding. Having a tourniquet is one of the most important pieces in your first aid kit. Next thing I look at, I love having ace bandages in my first aid kits. Now, all kits that you see online have solid ace bandages. Some have the cheap ones, some have the tape. I like these, and they come in different sizes. They're reusable. They have the Velcro on one side, so you can just put them on, Velcro it up. Done. These are the ones that you find in the hospital that they use to help people with when they have a sprained leg or broken limb. Ace bandages. Always recommend having these. Now, in certain situations, you really don't need it. You can use your clothing as a way to mobilize someone's injury, but I like having ace bandages for a just-in-case scenario. Also, these right here, these are called chest seals. Another way to stop the bleeding, especially if the individual has severe trauma to the chest area, whether it be gunshot or stab wound. You want to be able to stop the bleeding. This right here works great. I have a couple of these. Like I said, I keep these in every kit that I have because you never know. Next is my suture kit. Now, having a suture kit is not really needed. I brought one because I'm trained in using it, but also I like to have it just in case. Now, you could use your basic needle and thread, but I wanted, to go the little extra mile. I just bought the suture kit. It has different size sutures in there to help close up a wound in any situation. So that's why I have it. It's not something that you really need, but I recommend, if you're looking to get into this, I recommend with any first aid situation, you want to make sure you're trained on how to administer proper first aid to individuals, because you never know. You just don't want to run out there and figure you're an MD and start helping people. You want to make sure you're trained in how to administer proper first aid to someone in any situation, which is why I have my suture kit, because you never know. Next, antibiotics, antiseptics. These are great. It's other way to sterilize the wounds if you don't have this, but I added this to my kit. Something you may want to consider looking at. Most kits don't have this in it. They have like alcohol pads, which are great, but this is an extra way to sterilize a wound. Next, pain pills. Self-explanatory. You always want to have pain pills regardless of any situation. You never know, especially if someone's dealing with a serious trauma. You want to be able to at least minimize the pain as much as possible while you're helping treat the person. Having pain pills is great, is important. You definitely want to make sure your kit has various pain pills, from Tylenols to aspirins, ibuprofens, all that stuff. You want to make sure your kit has it. So always say invest in a large bottle of pain medication. Now this is something that you really don't need. This is a splint kit. It's a splint kit. And you really don't need this. I have it because, like I said, I just want to be able to help someone and not having to look and forage for ways to keep someone's limbs mobilized while we have to move the person. So I purchased this splint kit. It has different sizes for your arm, your leg, and your finger. You put that together with the ace bandage, and there you go. You don't want to be running around having to look, especially if you're in the wild. You gotta, find the right wood, make it shorter, whatever you gotta do. It just takes the guesswork out. Like I said, I keep one in my car. I take one when I go camping. Splinter kit, you can't go wrong with this. And this is the kit that I purchased because I like the pouch. Is small. It has a lot of the basics of Band-Aids, small little ace bandages, scissors, a blade. What I added to this is more Band-Aids, some of my sutras, and this right here. These are stop bleed packets. You just pour these over the wound. It'll stop the bleeding. But like I say, you always want to control the bleeding of any situation. These are the next best thing. When all else, you have nothing else around, having these is the next best thing to help stop the bleeding. So I recommend getting some of these, add them to your first aid kit. But like I said, this is the one that I purchased. I forgot how much I paid for it, but this is the one that I purchased because it was small, compact. I just added more to it, more Band-Aids. Obviously, my stop bleed. I put a tourniquet in here. It always has the scissors. I put some pain medicine in here. So this is my portable. This one stays in my bug out bag when I want to go. This one stays in there. So, yeah. Obviously, gauze. Most first aid kits have gauze, various sizes. If they don't, I don't know what kind of kit you're picking up. But if not, always buy extra gauze. You never know. There's two other items that you also need to consider adding to your first aid kit. One is glue. Glue is a great way to seal up wounds. When you have nothing else, glue is your next best thing. It helps keep the wound closed. Great way to seal up a wound. So you definitely want to add glue to your first aid kit. Also, duct tape. This is a small roll of duct tape. Duct tape serves multiple purposes. One, it is great for sealing wounds. So you definitely want to add duct tape to your first aid kit, as well as a great way to start a fire. So you want to add duct tape and glue to your first aid kit. So that is my first aid kit. As you see, I have a lot of different items in my first aid kit to handle a variety of situations that I may find myself in. As you build your first aid kit, you want to take that into consideration as well. You don't always want to think about these little minor cuts and scrapes you get in your hand, but something major. Tourniquet, like I said, key. You definitely want to get this. Ace bandage is an option. The chest seals are a great option as well. Sutras are great, but there's other ways to do that. But tourniquets are a must. I don't care what they say. You want to get a tourniquet. You don't want to be sitting there ripping up shirts trying to tie it around someone's arms just to help control the bleeding. Tourniquets, easy way to go. Once again, in every first aid situation, you want to make sure you're trained. Get some type of training, so that way, whatever situation you find yourself in, you're able to administer some type of help, even if it's just some basic relief to make the person feel comfortable while EMS is on the way. So I always recommend, as you build your kit, look to getting some type of first aid training, even if it's basic CPR. Sometimes the basic starts, and then build from there. So that's the video, people. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Stay safe, and as always, get ready.